I think the first time I was like so engrossed with a piece of media that I could not focus on literally anything else. I was completely in the moment. Was doing the King's Fall raid in Destiny 1. And it's not that I haven't had that kind of like, oh shit, this is something special moment and other things, but holy shit, I was not expecting it in a Fate movie series at all. Like, I basically watched it on a whim with absolutely zero expectations. Not that I don't like Fate. I like Fate a lot. I mean, Fate Zero I thought was awesome. Kiritsugu is one of, I think, the coolest characters in any anime. Like, that dude's awesome. Watching him and his philosophy develop is really special. Um, and I mean, Blade Unlimited Blade Works was like pretty bad, but I mean, it looked really good, and there were some really good moments, some good characters. It didn't really work for me. It was a little. I mean, I liked it when I watched it, but going back, Shiro in that series was pretty unbearable. Some of the shit he did was really cringe. So, like, knowing this was kind of a different perspective on that same storyline of Unlimited Blade Works, I had absolutely no expectations with these movies. And I really only watch them because I like the Fate, um, you know, like concept. I guess I think it's fun watching a bunch of people from history battle royale it out. So I mean, I'm always down to give Fate a chance, but I wasn't at all expecting a Fate series to hit this hard. So I want to talk about first the other Fate series is related to this one, that being Zero and Unlimited Blade Works, and just go through why I think this is like an actual masterpiece, by far the best Fate. So for Fate Zero, I mean, I think this show is fucking great, but it's also kind of a product of its time. Like, this show is 10 years old at this point, 2011, and you can definitely tell it does not really look great a lot of the time. Especially some of the CG is really bad when you go back and look at it. Holy shit, it's really noticeable how fucking it does not look good. It really doesn't at all. But I mean, this has some of the best characters in any Fate. That aside, and it's not to say all the fights look bad. There's some fights that look pretty good, especially uh, Saber and Lancer first fight comes to mind. That fight is really awesome. Some Kiritsugu fights, especially Kiritsugu versus fuck, what's his name? Edgy priest guy, Kodohime, Kodomine. Sorry, uh, that fight is really fucking good. A lot of Kiritsugu's time shit looks pretty cool. And I mean, for 2011, it doesn't look awful. It definitely doesn't look good. And yeah, I think that's the biggest problem with that. The story can also be kind of all over the place. I feel like sometimes it bounced around a little too much. Some things dragged pretty hard, especially at the beginning. Fate in the past has been kind of slow to get started, especially this one though. I rewatched this show about a month ago, and it drags a little bit at the beginning. I'd say until you hit that first Saber Lancer fight, it feels pretty slow. But once you hit that fight, it starts to pick up, and I think especially the ending, really good. The whole finale of Kiritsugu's character arc and philosophy kind of collapsing when he goes into the Grail and decides what he wants to do. That shit was really really good. Oh, the plane episode, if you've seen it, you know immediately what I'm talking about. Really really good. A lot of the episodes that focus on Kiritsugu's past are absolutely insane episodes, especially the plane episode. So I really really like Phase Zero a lot, but it was really really carried by Kiritsugu. And so now getting into Unlimited Blade Works, I think the biggest problem with Unlimited Blade Works is that, while Zero focuses on an awesome character, Kiritsugu, the focus in Bladeworks is on a not awesome character in Shiro, and there will be Bladeworks spoilers here, just so you know. Uh, yeah, but Shiro could be a cool character because, obviously, if you've seen the show, Shiro is Archer. Holy shit, he turns into a cool character eventually. But the path there is not smooth at all. And it is really cringe watching this fucker do some of the shit he does. I was watching Unlimited Blade Works with a friend, and he fucking lost his mind when Shiro immediately uses a command spell, and I can see why. It's really fucking cringe. Like, a lot of the shit this guy does at the beginning is really cringe, and he seems like a piece of shit. He's like crying that he doesn't want to do the war. Like, it's not good. It just Shiro is not a good character in this show. He kind of comes around towards the end. Like, he has some okay moments by the end. His fight with Gilgamesh is pretty good. By the end you can almost forgive what's happened in the beginning, but when you go back and rewatch it, you realize how unbearable he was at the beginning. And it's a really hard character to get behind. Really, really bad. So Bladeworks kind of ends up coming down to being carried by characters around Shiro, Rin, Archer, and Saber. And, it's okay. It's not an awful show. I think there's a lot to like watching the show. It looks fucking amazing. Like, the unlimited budget works is a meme because it's fucking true. This shit just looks good. It just looks good as fuck. A lot of the fights, especially with Archer, goddamn, they animated the fuck out of those fights. And I think it's enjoyable just to watch those fights if you can bear through how fucking unbearable Shiro is and how really slow some of the beginning part is. Really, really slow. I thought Zero was slow. This shit was way worse in those first few episodes. Way worse. These first few episodes, especially on a rewatch when you're more familiar with the world, are really tough to watch. Like, they are so fucking slow. I remember, because when I watched the show originally, I came away with a decent opinion on it. Like, I mean, it was cool. I enjoyed it. Then going back years later and watching it, wow, this shit was really bad at the beginning. It's just bad. It's too slow. So yeah, I would say going into Heaven's Feel, I was a fan of Fate. Like I said, Fate Zero is up there in one of my favorite shows ever. Even though going back, it doesn't quite hold up. I think it's still really good. If you're willing to look past some of the fucking awful CGI. So going into Heaven's Feel, I would say I was a Fate fan, but I mean, I'm not like in the extended lore. I don't fucking spend thousands of dollars on the mobile game, play the fucking light novel, and know like all the timelines and shit. I don't fucking understand most of the shit that's going on in Fate. But, Zero to Unlimited Blade Works, that was a fairly connected story. I mean, Blade Works kind of just says fuck everything that happens in Zero. We're just not going to talk about it. And I like that Heaven's Feel actually feels like a continuation of Fate Zero. I would highly recommend watching Fate Zero first before Heaven's Feel. It's probably good to watch Blade Works before Heaven's Feel too. I don't think I would give a fuck about it, but you will have some important information. But yeah, so going into Heaven's Feel, I like Fate, and goddamn, it's just the best Fate. There's no competition. Every character in this is so much better than they've ever been represented before. Shiro is like a completely different person in this. It's not even close. And I mean, I still would say Shiro's a bit flat in Heaven's Feel. Like, he doesn't feel like the focus, but he's kind of not, and like that's okay. And he just does the Shiro thing way fucking better. He is way less cringe. Way less cringe. It's so much better. Rin also, I mean, I like Rin. I'm a big Rin fan. But I think in Heaven's Feel, her character it makes more sense. I don't think she was like cringe or anything in Blade Works. Maybe some people did. But I mean, I think her character serves more of a purpose in Heaven's Feel. It's more connected to the main narrative, which is cool. Um, and like a lot of things that I think if you watch Blade Works, you might be like, what the fuck is happening here? Like Rin and Sakura's relationship makes so much more sense in Heaven's Feel, and they touch on it a lot. And I think if you watch Blade Works, you might be like, how the fuck are these people pretending they don't know each other? And everything in that regard makes so much more sense in Heaven's Feel. Yeah. So, kind of going in order between the Heaven's Feel movies, the first movie in Heaven's Feel kind of covers the kind of groundwork set by Blade Works and is like, okay, kind of establishes that we're kind of on the same track here. You get a lot of the same intros. You get, you know, Shiro and Rin getting their servants. But what I like in Heaven's Feel is they kind of know that you know the process and they're not going to fucking repeat it again. You know, it's a 2-hour movie. They don't have time to waste, like, developing this shit for the fucking 5th time. Like, we know how servants are summoned. So they kind of just literally in a little fucking credit montage show them getting their servants. Wow, that was awesome. That's all we needed. We just need to know that they got their fucking servants. It was so much better than the, like, if you've ever watched Fate Zero or Blade Works, you know that the first episode is like fucking an hour long of getting to this point. You're watching a full hour of a like 24 episode series of just, hey guys, Fate, it's a battle royale for the Grail War, and you fucking, here's the guys summoning their servants. That's the full fucking hour. This shit skips all this shit, gets it done within like 20 minutes. They're in Kirei's place, and he's explaining the rules of the Grail War to Shiro, who doesn't know them. But this scene was also in fucking Blade Works. This exact scene where Shiro and Rin go to the guy, and they're like, fucking, yo, he's in the Grail War, holy shit. But in Blade Works, this shit was fucking cringe. Shiro was awful in this scene. Holy shit. And it just felt fucking weird because Shiro's dad and this dude did not have a good history if you watch Phase Zero. They are not fucking pals. There should be a little tension here. And this shit, in Heaven's Feel, they really fucking touch on that. Like, you know, there's some shit there. Like, obviously. And I mean, like, you know, Shiro's still willing to hear him out. And, like, you know, like, yo, tell me about the Grail War. But, like, also fuck you. And that was pretty cool. I like how it's not just, like, a whining Shiro the whole time. Shiro's, like, you know, he's fucking acting like he should, given the past between this dude and his dad. So that was pretty cool. I think immediately at this point, I knew, like, okay, this is different. Like, this shit is actually, like, you know, connecting the dots. Like, we're gonna have a cohesive story here. And from there, you know, we continue with the Grail War as it kind of was in Blade Works, with the key difference that fucking Heaven's Feel adds. There's some fucking weird shadow thing going around, fucking murdering everything. And I'm not going to spoil what it is here until the end where I talk about spoilers. But yeah, there's some shadow thing going around, and it's kind of like, oh shit, okay, everything seems the same. You know, we got the same servants, kind of the same servants fighting each other, same alliances being formed, but something fucky is going around here with this weird shadow thing. So it kind of, like, if you've watched Blade Works before, it already feels fresh. Even by the first movie, you're like, kind of like, what the fuck's going on here? And then by the second movie, it's like really like, oh shit, I see what's happening here, and holy shit, this is pretty fucking crazy. And so I think the last thing I want to touch on before I get into, like, spoilers are Sakura's characters in Blade Works and Heaven's Feel. Because I fucking hated Sakura in Unlimited Blade Works. Mostly because it felt like she had no fucking purpose at all. Because she fucking didn't. She was just there. Didn't really make any sense why she was there. Like, what her relationship was with Shiro. What the fuck was going on with her and Ren? Like, how do these people, how are they pretending they don't fucking know each other? This is fucking weird as hell. Her character just felt thrown in there just because she's in the fucking visual novel or whatever the fuck. Like, it just felt weird. She was I thought just an unbelievably cringe character, but I generally hate the like shy archetype. It just I think it's cringe as fuck, and I mean that's literally all her character was. It was just like shy fucking senpai girl. Like it was weird. I just thought her character was fucking awful. Going into this, hearing that Heaven's Feel was about Sakura almost made me not want to watch it because I fucking hated her character in Blade Works so much. So I was so surprised that wow, they fucking killed it with her character in Heaven's Feel. And I mean, honestly, she's basically the main character. It's kind of told through Shiro's perspective, so it kind of feels like Shiro's the main character. But really, goddamn, it's the Sakura show. Like it's her story, and it's a really fucking good and compelling story. Like it's without spoiling anything. Like you're gonna feel for her. Like holy shit. So yeah, they really killed it with this character, and I was really happy about that. Okay, so fair warning, everything from now on is gonna be spoilers. I really think you should watch this fucking movie. This movie series, 3 movies, I guess. It does kind of feel like it takes a lot of time, but it's still shorter than like a full series, I guess. It's like 6 hours long. So I really think it's worth watching. I think it's absolutely insane. It looks great. Story's great. So yeah, okay, this is the warning. Spoilers now. So, okay. The shade is fucking Sakura. Sakura is like fucking killing everybody. Holy shit. And like by the second movie, like you basically know it's coming, but it's still like damn. You still like feel for her like fuck. That's the way it is, I guess. And it completely works with her story. The story that felt like it was not touched on at all in Blade Works and was like, this kind of, the crazy shit that this bitch has probably been through really needed to be addressed. It feels weird that it's not being addressed here. They really explore it and they really like develop this character. And holy shit, all of her interactions and just the way she acts in general just feels so much more natural and correct when you kind of learn more about like her mind. Like she's been fucked up and like that kind of dead inside look like isn't just a look. Like damn, you really feel for this girl. It's really fucked up, everything that she's been through, and it's fucked with her mind like you would expect it to. So fuck, it's really good. This character becomes really good. And even when you realize she's like murdering everybody as the shade, like it's like damn, like you really feel bad. Even though she's like I think Gilgamesh is like, yo, like at what point is this like too much? And it's like, damn, with all the shit she's been through, even though she's like, I think she's murdered like over like 50 people or something. I forget, they mention it on the news in one of the movies. Like damn, you still feel for her because it's like fuck, she has had it like really hard. And the thing that also makes it stand out even more how hard she's had it is her like foil with Rin, who was her fucking sister. And like that conflict of like Rin's easy like noble life should have been hers, like she just got unlucky. And that tension between those two is like really palpable by the end in the third movie, and their confrontation is really, really good. I think the moment of Rin and Sakura at the end where they fight it's the best moment in any of the movies for me. I mean, it's really, really good. Yeah. Another thing I think is interesting, on another note, is how they just don't mention that Shiro's Archer. They kind of hint at it, but I don't really think you would know if you hadn't watched Blade Works, which is I thought was kind of weird, but I think if you know that Shiro's Archer, the way Shiro and Archer interact with each other it's so much better. I think Shiro's like power escalation. If you've watched Blade Works, he just starts randomly pulling out fucking Archer's swords, and it's just like, what? Why can he do this? And then it's like, oh, okay, I guess Shiro's Archer, so he can just get his swords or some shit. It doesn't really make any fucking sense. But in Blade Works, the power escalation of him getting Archer's arm is a little weird at first, but it makes a lot more sense, and it feels a lot more fucking natural. Way better to see him using this arm that's like, it works for him because it's fucking future him's arm, but it fucks with him. He's not ready for it, and it like fucking blades the shit out of him. Like, he starts like fucking getting like blades sticking out of him everywhere the more he uses the arm, which fucking makes sense. He's not fucking ready for it, so he's using this power that he's not really prepared for, and it's fucking up his body. That shit's really good, I think, and it's so much more. It just feels so much better for his character. Another character they fucking killed it with that I wasn't expecting was Kodamine Kirei. Holy shit, this guy. I just kind of expected, like Blade Works, I kind of just fucking forget about him. Like, he has his little moment for fan service, I guess, and then that's kind of all he does. Like, he doesn't really have that much of a part that I can remember, at least. But in Blade Works, in Heavensfeel, goddamn, this guy has some fucking awesome moments. And it really, I think, nicely concludes his arc that didn't quite feel finished at the end of Zero. Like, at the end of Zero, it felt like Kiritsugu had a great, like, conclusion, but Kirei just not quite. And, I mean, that felt like what, it felt fine. Like, he got his extra life or whatever. Kind of keep figuring shit out. And I really liked how his philosophy was continued into this movie, and some of his moments I thought were really fucking good. Obviously, it's awesome to see him fighting shit again. It's, really fucking hypey when the like assassin dude tries to like steal his heart, but he doesn't have a heart, as we learned from Zero. Holy shit! After he gets resurrected in Zero, whatever they say, he doesn't have a heart, so he's able to kill the assassin as a fucking human. He takes down a servant. That was pretty sick. Yeah, so I really like Kirei's character and his finale. It makes sense what he's doing. Kind of makes sense for him to be like the antagonist at the end, trying to get Shiro's way. I thought it was really fucking good. And finally, to kind of bring it back to the main character, fucking Sakura, her rampage mode, I think, really concludes in a nice way. And I wasn't sure how they were going to do it, because it would have felt... I thought at one point it was going to feel weird for her to not be killed. Like, I thought the only path that wouldn't be cringe was her dying. Like, it didn't seem like there was any way they could, like, bring this character back and it would not feel, like, forced or whatever. But I think the way they handled her in the third movie was absolutely, like, I couldn't even believe it. Her arc with kind of getting her revenge on her grandpa, and kind of feeling the meaninglessness of her existence after that was really powerful. And it really felt natural that after that, when she fought Rin the way she did, and Rin did what she did, it made sense for her to kind of come back to the light, That was really, really well done. I couldn't even see the path where it wasn't cringe, but it felt fucking great. It really, really just worked. So yeah, I guess kind of in conclusion, like, I really just thought this movie was special. I thought it really, in one nice package, like, captured everything that Fate is supposed to be. All these characters were so well done. And the main character, who I'm considering to be Sakura, her arc and everything about her character was really, really fucking good. And it feels great in the end when she kind of gets the happy ending. And, with everything that had happened before then, it doesn't feel like a happy ending's possible. It feels like for a happy ending to happen, it would feel too forced and it just wouldn't work. But by the time she gets it, I think after everything that she's been through and the way everything went down, it makes sense. It feels good, and it didn't feel forced to me at all. I really liked it. I thought the ending was great. I thought her character was great. I thought Shiro's character was maybe not great, but like not as great as like Sakura, but it was good, and that's kind of all it needed to be. It did its job. Um, and yeah, it was a really fucking good series of movies. I would absolutely highly recommend it. It was unbelievable. I really thought it was unbelievable. It was really, really special.